with another episode, splashing on the fish. And on today's episode, I was just sitting here relaxed, thinking, how can I get this banking? Yeah, feel me? Just sitting here relaxing and thinking, how can I get this banking? We need a lot of it. We need a lot of it, and we needed it yesterday. And I've been thinking, like, hey, let me just break that down for you when I say cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went and did that time. Yeah, I got locked up with, like, my dog, you know what I'm saying? Went on with 15 like me. Really, I think it was 14. But either way, did 3 years, so y'all probably was turning 15. Yeah, I was 15 by the time I went to prison. I was 14 when they locked me up. I had a birthday in the county, so I turned 15. I think my other dog, he was 15, and my other homeboy, he was like 33. Is when I had when I was getting sentenced to prison. So I got 3, my dog got 4, and my other dog got 5. He got 5 because he was habitual. Me and him got the 3 and the 4. He had additional charges while he got 4. And shit, I ain't had the additional charges he had, so I got the 3. But at the same time, I was the first one home, and I ain't never go back. Both of them boys came home and went back. Nigga, I did not like prison. Nigga, that's why I ain't go back. The fuck I'm going back to prison for? You crazy? Hell no. One time was enough, nigga. I ain't going back. You can't get no pussy in there. You can't eat what you want to eat in there. You feel me? You can't go get you no rim bim. You can't go get you no Hennessy. You can't do the things that you can do when it's free, man. It can't go take no adventures like I'm plotting on another trip to another beach. What beach? I don't know yet, but I'm gonna call it Pleasure Island. Let's say I'm plotting on a trip to another Pleasure Island. If you in fucking prison, you can't plot on no trip to go to Pleasure Island like me, man. So I try to keep myself free of the crimes and shit that would get me doing time. I always say I was, they had that thing, scared, scrape. I always say shit, I was scared smart. Cause I'm smart enough to know that, nigga, I don't want to spend another iota of a minute in your motherfucking jail cell with you having authority over that, like over me like that. No, 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 no. So that's what I mean when I say cakewalk. Cause niggas was in that bitch getting beat, stabbed, booty took, all kind of shit. You feel me? So if I survived all that in there by myself, listen, I could definitely handle this. I could definitely handle this. I just gotta get my focus cap on and keep my focus cap on. Uh, it's late night. I'm a little tired. Y'all ever had gas in your back? That shit make you feel like your back breaking, and then when you burp, it be like so much relief, but it come right back. I'm like, what the hell? All this gas come from my back? Ugh, I need to go see a chiropractor or something like that. But yeah, be so easy to forget how sweet it is out here. And partially the reason I be forgetting how sweet it is out here, cause when you got a lady, nigga, this shit is 10 times sweeter. You think it's good when you by yourself, nigga. You get you a lady that's an actual help versus a fucking headache. Nigga, this world is a beautiful place to be in when you got a lady that help you and is not a headache. You hear me? That can pay for some shit that don't just drain your pockets. You feel me? She got her own bread, got her own brain. So once you like, cause God say man is supposed to leave his parents or leave his father's house and go get his wife, and the two become one. So once you become one with, what I'm saying, your mate, your soulmate, it's you kind of get lost and forget certain shit, because now you're cultivating, like, it's not just all about you, it's about this person too. So that's how I be forgetting, because I be thinking like, how can I make them happy and shit like that? So you forget to make yourself happy and do what makes you happy, because you like, hey, I can't really be happy unless they happy. But then get to a point where it's like, okay, just make sure you're making yourself happy, because people might don't give a fuck if you happy or not. So you know, you can make sure other people happy, but make sure you making yourself happy first. Like, do what make you happy, do what make you feel good, and all that good shit. And you got a mate out there. I'm telling you, it's better to have a soulmate that you can rock with and be down with. Cause hey man, God made us to be together. That's why He say you leave your mama, your daddy, and you go get with your wife, and y'all two become one. So like I say, you know what I'm saying, it's a cakewalk out here in the world. I just be forgetting because I'm so used to having my girl right next to me, you feel me? But it's really like a cakewalk out here. Hey y'all hit that like button for me right quick. It's really a cakewalk out here. All you gotta do is focus on your business, stay out your feelings, cause ain't no money in them. And yeah, stay on your millionaire mission, man. I tell everybody I sell a shirt to, hey, I feel like we all should be on a millionaire mission. If you ain't on one, get on one. You feel me? Like, hey, all this working for another motherfucker is good. But God has blessed us with brains and intelligence to the point where we could work for ourselves and start businesses ourselves and have other people working for us and have corporations under us. We're just, I don't know, bro. It's like when you look at how I grew up, it's like nobody's telling the youth about no entrepreneurship or no, go, well, probably nowadays they probably do. But when I was growing up, that wasn't like really encouraged. They wanted you to go to school, graduate, and go to college and get a good job. That was the motto. Like, you're supposed to go to school, graduate, get a good job, all that good stuff, go to college, all that. Life don't always work out like we want it to work out, right? Shit be happening. But it's better when you with a partner. But you got to be able to stand on your own 10 toes too, though. And you got to be able to make yourself happy too. Even if you had a partner and you no longer have a partner, if you had a soulmate, you no longer with that soulmate, you still got to be able to make yourself happy. You can't be like in a state of depression forever. You feel me? People done moved on with their life, smiling and laughing and kikiing and talking about other people, talking about your ass to other people. You feel me? You steady over there sad and crying and I want my baby back. Your baby over there sucking dick and laughing at with the other nigga talking about you. So, you know what I'm saying? Just stay focused on your millionaire mission, man. Get the money, man. If you go cry, at least you'll be crying in a Bentley. You heard me? Cause hey, what's the sense in you being all mad, sad, and depressed and shit? Hey, hit that like button for me. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers over there giggling and laughing and talking about your ass. You know what I'm saying? You over here sad, crying, depressed, and all that shit. Listen, man. Listen. And I always tell y'all when y'all hear me talking like this, it be self-therapy, man. I be counseling my goddamn self. It's some people I could call and talk to. But when I be going through shit, I don't be really wanting to talk to nobody, dog. I just want to work, get me some money, stay out the way. And right now, like, I really don't want to talk to nobody, bro. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody, bro. I'm thinking I don't even know I'm going home for Thanksgiving. I might just stay out here to Christmas, bitch. I don't want to talk to nobody, bitch. For real, baby. I be talking and conversating and shit, but bitch, I don't want to talk, bitch. Like, bitch, I'm trying to. I don't know, bro. Like, shit, if I could, I wouldn't be talking to these people selling these shirts. Boy, I gotta get this money though, bitch. Like, I really don't want to talk to nobody right now. I just want to get my bag, do what I'm finna do, and get it done. That's it, man. All this talky. I'm on YouTube talking to y'all because I'm trying to fuck around and get a viral video or a couple viral videos or something and get some YouTube money. If I can get some YouTube money for just clicking on a camera and running my mouth, I'm gonna try to do that. Hey, but everybody wanna be a content creator nowadays. I ain't mad at it, man. If you can get some money for just turning on the camera and talking your shit, go ahead and go for the gusto. You know what I'm saying? But don't waste all day, all your life trying to be a content creator. That gotta be like some side shit. You feel me? Until they start making more money than your job. You just gonna say I'm gonna be a content creator living on somebody's couch in somebody's house and ain't paying no bills. It's just not correct. Content creator. All right? You gotta get off. You gotta get off your ass to get on your shit. You can't be living on somebody else's couch talking about you a content creator. Hell no, fuck that. Subscribe. subscribe, and subscribe. What you gotta do is get off your head, get on your shit. It's the Millionaire Mission. Make sure you on it. You know what I'm saying? Beast mode. Give me 1 second. Put your trust in Kilo. Where you been at, bro? I swear lately I'm in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Can't put your trust in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in beast mode. Rappers serving by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Can't put your trust in beast mode. Rappers serving by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Yeah, right here, man. Beast mode. Beast mode. Put your trust in these hoes. Beast mode. Beast mode. Put your trust in Kilo. Where you been at, bro? I swear lately I'm in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Can't put your trust in these hoes. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Rappers serving by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Can't put your trust in these hoes. Rappers serving by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Yeah, right here, man. I said lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Beast mode. Put your trust in these hoes. Beast mode. Beast mode. Put your trust in Kilo. Where you been at, bro? I swear lately I'm in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Can't put your trust in these hoes. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Rappers serving by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Can't put your trust in these hoes. Rappers serving by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Yeah, right here, man. I said lately I'm in beast mode. Beast mode. Beast mode. Put your trust in these hoes. Beast mode. Beast mode. Put your trust in Rappers serving by kilos. Where you been at, bro? I swear lately I'm in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Lately I'm in beast mode. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Rapping by a kilo. Lately I'm in beast mode. Don't put your trust in these hoes. Hey, shout out to my young nigga Lloyd. That was him on that hook right there, man. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's get straight to it. 1 Chronicles chapter 24. Dear Lord, Father up in heaven, thank you for keeping me safe on this road. Thank you for keeping Jocelyn safe on the road. Keep these drivers safe from having accidents and incidents. And thank you for protecting me from all harm, causing anybody any harm. I ask you to continue to be with me, to give me a calm spirit, the peace that comes from you. Peace abundantly, a calmness. I'm trying to sit still and know that you are God. I believe that you are God. I believe you, my Father. I believe you with me and not against me. But I see all the things going on in this world, and I actually just bless the mess, take the stress. In Jesus' name, give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as I read your word. May the person hearing me read your word get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, be encouraged to pick up your word and read it for themselves, and also to build and cultivate a relationship with you and Jesus Christ, my Father up in heaven, I pray. Watch over me, my family, my friends, and even my enemies. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right, here we go. 1 Chronicles 24. Divisions of the Levites. Now the divisions of the descendants of Aaron were these. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abdu, Eleazar, Itmar. Was this the one? No, I just read this yesterday. Because I remember reading that double name. So we on 25 then. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, we on chapter 25 in 1 Chronicles. That's what it was, chapter 25. I don't think I read that one yet. Definitely not read 24. So here we go. Hit that like button. What is you doing? Why is you hit the like button? You in here and you ain't hit the like button. What is you doing? Is you a hater? Is there a hater in here watching me? Because I don't see the light going up. It's only me and you. You should at least hit the like button. That's something you can do. You feel me? Don't be panicking. Don't be panicking. You could at least hit the like button. You heard me? For sure, for sure. So, let's do this. So, moreover, David and the commanders of the army set apart for the service some of the sons of Aspen and of Heman and of Juthan, who were to prophesy with lyres, harps, and cymbals. And the number of those who performed their service was one of the sons of Appar, Sarkar, Joseph, Nathaniel, and Asherlah. The sons of Aspar were under the direction of Aspar, who prophesied under the direction of the king of Jeduthun. The sons of Jeduthun, Gilead, Zeriah, Jahiah, Shimi, Hashabiah, Matiah, 6 under the direction of the father of Joatham with the harp, who prophesies and giving thanks and praising the Lord. Of Heman, the sons of Heman, Bukiah, Motaniah, Uziel, Shabiel, and Jumath, Haniah, Elithia, Gariah, Ramatil Izer, Joshbekashiah, Malathiah, Hathor, Mahazoah. All these were the sons of Heman, the king seer, to exalt him according to the words of the Lord. For God gave 14 sons and 3 daughters to Heman. All these were under the direction of their father to sing in the house of the Lord with cymbals, harps, and lyres for the service of the house of God. Asphat, Judah, and Heman were under the direction of the king. Their number who were trained in singing to the Lord with their relatives, all who were skillful, was 288. They cast lots for their duties, all alike, the small as well as the great, the teachers as well as the pupil. Now, the first lot came out for Aspar and Joseph, the second for Gilead. He was with his relatives, and sons were 12. The third to Zachar, his son and his relatives. 12. The fourth to Israel, his son and his relatives. 12. The fifth to Nathaniel and his sons and his relatives. 12. The sixth to Bechiah, his sons and his relatives. 12. The 7th to Jeshreeliah, his sons and his relatives, 12. The 8th to Josiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. The 9th to Mattaniah, his sons and his relatives, 12. The 10th to Shemiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. The 11th to Azarel, his sons and his relatives. The 12th to Habishia, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 13th, Shabiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 14th, Matthiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 15th, Jermoth, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 16th, Hananiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 17th, Josh Beek Ashiah, his son and his relatives, 12. For the 18th, Hananiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 19th, Malav, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 20th, Elithiah, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 21st, Harthar, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 22nd, Gideah, his sons and his relatives, 12. For the 23rd, Mazah, his son and his relatives, 12. For the 24th, Ramati Ezer, his sons and his relatives. And that was chapter 26, talking about the people that sang. So right now they're going over all the duties of the church. Let's get some more word in, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I just been going through so much, and on the outside, exterior, I've been seeing exterior stuff that I don't normally see happen. Like not proper, not good. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I gotta make sure, like, I know God with me, because I just, even though things been happening, it's just still being like, once it happened, boom, I ain't panicking. I'm talking to God, like, hey, looking for the solution to the problem. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really dealing with being stuck on no problems, but yeah, let's just read another chapter, because we need some more. We need this in our life. Chapter 26, for the division of the gatekeepers, there were the Korathites. Mishilemiel, the son of Kor, the sons of Ashpa. Mishilemiel had sons: Zechariah the firstborn, Jadiel the second, Zabadiel the third, Jantel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jonah the sixth, Elohaniah the seventh. Obadiah had sons: Shemiel the firstborn, Johozabad the second, Joel the third, Skara the fourth, Skara the fourth, Nathaniel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Ishkar the seventh, and Palathiel the eighth. God had indeed blessed him. Also to the sons of Shemiah sons were born, who ruled over the house of their father, for they were mighty men of valor. The sons of Shemiah were Othniel, Reuel, Rapiel, Obed, and Elizabad, whose brother Elihu and Shemachiah were valiant men. All these were the sons of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their relatives were able men with strength for the service. From Obed-Edom, Meshelemiah had sons and relatives, valiant men. Also Hoshea, one of the sons of Moriah, had sons. Shimri the first, although he was not the firstborn, his father made him first. Hakiel the second, Tabaliel the third, Zechariah the fourth. All the sons of the relatives of Hoshea were 13. To these divisions of the gatekeepers, the chief men were given duties like their relatives to minister in the house of the Lord. They cast lots, the small and the great alike, according to their father's household, for every gate. The lot to the east fell on Shelemiel. Then the lot cast for his son Zechariah, a counselor with insight, and his lot came out to the north. For Obed-Edom it fell to the south, and to his sons went the storehouse. For Shippim and Hoshi it went to the west, by the gate of Shalkek, on the ascending highway gate, guard corresponding to guard. On the east there were 6 Levites, on the north 4 daily, on the south 4 daily, and on the storehouse 2 by 2, at the parbar. On the west there were 4, at the highway, and 2 at the parbar. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers of the son of Korah and of the sons of Moriah. The Levites, their relatives had charge of the treasury of the house of God, and of the treasury of the dedicated gifts. The sons of Ladan and the sons of Gershonites belonged to Ladan, namely the Jehulites were the heads of the father's household belonging to Ladan the Gershonite. The son of Jaleel, Zektham, Joel, his brother, had charge of the treasury of the house of the Lord. As for the Amorites, the Izhites, and the Hebronites, and the Uzalites, see all those names, them lights. Hebronite, that's from Hebron. Uzalites, that's from Uzel. Isharites, that's from Ishar, Izharites, Isharites. Shubal, the son of Gershon, the son of Moses, was officer over the treasury. His relatives by Elijah were Rebiah, his son, Jeshiel, his son, Joram, his son, Zachariah, his son, Sholomoth, his son. This Sholomoth and his relatives had charge of all the treasures of the dedicated gifts which King David and the heads of the father's household, the commanders of the thousands and hundreds, and the commanders of the army had dedicated. They dedicated part of the spoil won in battles to repair the house of the Lord, and all that Samuel the seer had dedicated, and Saul the son of Kish, Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zerah, everyone who had dedicated anything, all this way in care of Shelomoth and his relatives. Outside duties. As for the Isharites, Shunaniah and his sons were assigned to the outside duties of Israel as officers and judges. As for the Hebronites, Habiah and his relatives, 1,700 men, capable men, had charge of their affairs of Israel west of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and the service of the king. As for the Hebronites, Jeriah the chief, these Hebronites were investigated according to their genealogies in their father's household in the 40th year of David's reign, and men outstanding capability were found among them as at Jazer of Gilead, and his relatives capable men were 2,700 in number, heads of father's household. And King David made them overseers of the Reubenites and the Gadites. And you know the Reubenites come from Reuben, and the Gadites come from Gad. And the half tribe of the Manassites come from Manna, concerning all the affairs of God and the king. See, that's why I be reading all them little names. That's why I be reading all them names, because when you read all them names, you'll come back and see them again, but they'll be like, what it said? The Manassite, the Gadites, the Reubenites, the Hebronites. So all those are people. Like Reuben was one of the sons, I think, of Israel, one of the 12 sons. So they call his family the Reubenites. So when you read all those names versus just skipping over them, you get something. So a lot of times you read those names. Even when I first started reading the Bible, I would skip all them names. I'm like, I don't want to know all these names. What I need to know all these names for? Nah, I don't be skipping that shit. I be reading it. And let's get into it. We trying to not pay no taxes. Damn all that. That's robbery. They need to tell you don't pay your taxes, boy. We coming with guns. We gonna take your car. We gonna take your property. We gonna garnish your check. And if you got a bank account, we don't respect that. We gonna take that. So make sure you own your IRS shit, because you don't want them out here garnishing nothing, taking nothing, looking for you or nothing. Better do like me and send them $100. That'll keep them off you. They just want some money. It don't matter how much. You send there at 20, they probably be all right. Chapter number 3, the Internal Revenue Code, a masterpiece of deception. Government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. In its worst state, an intolerable one. The Internal Revenue Code is a thorough fraud. It was deliberately written to mislead the American public concerning federal income taxes. To do this, hundreds of sections had to be written and pieced together in such a way that while no section technically misstates the law, the sections do individually and collectively convey a meaning that is not actually contained in the law itself. Consider the following facts. While filing a return is voluntary, the code makes it appear mandatory. And that's a thing too, because I was talking to my cousin about this. Did you know that the income tax is voluntary? I don't think a lot of people know that income taxes is voluntary. Like, you filing an income tax is not mandatory. The government is supposed to figure out your taxes and then send you a bill. Just like you have a property tax, you don't go out and estimate, oh, I need a roof, I need a concrete, and this how much property taxes I'm going to pay. No, they send somebody out. You probably don't even know they coming to your house. Assess the house, look on the market and see what the house is going around from there. Assess the house and send you a tax bill. You do not have to do anything as far as filing paperwork that would incriminate you. When you're filing taxes, you're saying that under the penalty of perjury, everything in this paperwork is true. It's codes in this Internal Revenue Code book that you don't have to say that you don't have to volunteer to do that. They got to do it, and you just got to pay your bill. Well, back to the read. Consider the following facts. While filing a return is voluntary, the code makes it appear mandatory. While nobody can be liable for taxes until they are assessed, the code makes it appear as though people are automatically liable for taxes as they earn money. While having taxes withheld from your pay is voluntary, the code makes it appear compulsory. While no one has to file and pay estimated income taxes, the code makes it appear that one does. While there cannot be any criminal or civil penalties for not filing an income tax return, the code makes it appear as though criminal and civil penalties do apply, and the list goes on. The code is a masterpiece of deception, and indeed, this section could only be written after hundreds of hours were spent trying to decipher it. We will analyze 3 sections of the code to give you some idea of the linguistic gymnastics employed in order to lead taxpayers astray. Sections 6011 and 6012, figures 3 through 1 and 3 through 2, are often used by the IRS to mislead Americans into believing that they are required to file tax returns. Internal Revenue Code Section 6011. This section appears to establish requirement for filing tax returns, since the section is grandiosely entitled General Requirement of Return, Statement of List. One is led, therefore, to believe that there are within this section the requirements for filing a tax return, but the section definitely does not establish any such requirements, nor does it require anyone to supply tax information to the government. The section does state that one who is made liable by receiving a bill for any tax can at that time make either a return or a statement. You have an option. Since filing a tax return is voluntary, the law naturally provides that after receiving your tax bill from the government, you can challenge the assessment. You can do that by either filing an appropriate statement, taking issue with the assessment, or by filing your own tax return claiming a different tax liability. You could demand in your statement that the government furnishes you with a complete breakdown of the figures it used in calculating your taxes. This obviously makes more sense than to simply submit at that time your own tax return on which you admit to a lesser tax liability, since this could create additional problems for you. See page 52. But in any case, the law certainly gives you options. You can file a statement, file a return, pay the tax bill as rendered. I would recommend that anybody in this situation file a statement challenging the tax bill as rendered. However, I don't believe that most people would ever face this problem, since I don't believe that they would actually receive a tax bill from the federal government. See page 54. Of course, the deception in section 6011 is obvious. No one reading it would have drawn the above information from it. He would have been deliberately misled to believe that the section required that Americans file income tax returns, when in fact the section says no such thing. Excuse me. Internal Revenue Code Section 6012. This section of the code is entitled Person required to make returns of income. Persons required to make returns of income. But nowhere in this section does it state that anybody is required to file a return. It is important to understand that those who wrote the code knew that the code could not require anyone to file an income tax return. So many sections of the code had to be written to sound as though such a requirement existed. Otherwise, who would file? Note that section 6012 enumerates categories of people who the section declares shall not be required. Note, A, since no one is required, what purpose does such a statement serve? Obviously, the statement was phrased in this manner so that the public could draw the erroneous inference that If some people are not required to file, then others must be required to file. Surprise, shall means may. Okay, we got to read section 6011 because he put it in here in the insert. So we're going to read and see what this say in the Internal Revenue Code. He say this is the wording that they use to trick us into believing we have to file. General requirement of return, statement, or list. And it got the A in parentheses. It say general rule. When required by regulations prescribed by the Secretary, any person made liable for any tax imposed by this title or for the collection thereof shall make a return or statement according to the forms and regulations prescribed by the Secretary. Every person required to make a return or statement shall include therein the information required by such forms or regulations. When required by regulations prescribed by the Secretary, any person made liable for any tax imposed by this title or for the collection thereof shall make a return or a statement according to the forms and regulations prescribed by the Secretary. Every person required to make a return or statement shall include therein the information required by such forms or regulations. So that's what he was saying by they use required a couple of times. Every person required to make a return. Okay, so and then this one said surprise, like shall in parentheses, shall means may in parentheses, may. True, this section does not state that returns shall be made, note B, by various individuals, but shall, as used here, does not mean mandatory in the legal sense. And then we got the section 6012. That's another section of the Internal Revenue Code. And we need to read these so we can understand what he's saying in the book. That's why I'm reading these little. If I show it to y'all, y'all see what I'm saying. This is like a little insert from the Internal Revenue Code. And he giving us the game on the wording that they use to trick us to make us think that we need to file income taxes. So this is section 6012. Persons required to make returns of income. General rule. Returns with respect to income taxes under subtitle A, C, B shall be made by the following. 1A. Every individual having for the taxable year a gross income of $1,000 or more, except that a return shall not be required of an individual other than an individual described in subparagraph I, in parentheses, who is not married, determined by applying section 143, is not a surviving spouse, as defined in section 2A, and for the taxable year has a gross income of less than $3,300. II, in parentheses, who is a surviving spouse, as so defined, and for the taxable year has a gross income of less than $4,000. III, in parentheses, who is entitled to make a joint return under section 6013 and whose gross income when combined with the gross income of his spouse is for the taxable year less than $5,400, but only if such individual and his spouse at the close of the taxable year had the same household as their home. And that's another thing. If you think about it, you're not supposed to file taxes until after the year is over. How are you accessing my taxes and taking taxes out of my money before the year is over? You don't even know how much money I'm gonna make. So how you just taking a certain amount? That's why I say this. These niggas is a gang, man. These niggas will tell you they gonna come take your shit and rob you. All right, let's keep it going. A key to understanding the government's success in misleading the public regarding income taxes involves the code's use of the word shall and must in place of the word required. The public naturally believes that the word shall and must in a statute operates as a command. But when these words are applied to the public in connection with federal statutes, the words take on a different meaning. Here are 3 court decisions that explain this principle. The word shall in a statute may be constructed to mean may, particularly in order to avoid a constitutional doubt. if necessary to avoid unconstitutional, what the fuck? Unconstitutionality. Oh, unconstitutionality. Damn, I didn't even know that was a word. Made me want to grab my dictionary and look that shit up. If necessary to avoid, matter of fact, I am for to look it up. Nah, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna look it up when I get done. Unconstitutionality. Unconstitutionality of a statute will be deemed equivalent to may. Shall in a statement may be constructed to mean may in order to avoid constitutional doubt. So, it is clear that the word shall, when used in statutes, means may, especially when the constitutionality of a statute is at stake. Clearly, then, the construction must be used throughout the Internal Revenue Code in order to preserve its constitutionality in terms of Section 6012. If shall is construed to be mandatory, it would cause the entire code to be unconstitutional, since the code would then be an irreconcilable conflict with the Fifth Amendment. Irreconcilable conflict with the Fifth Amendment. Therefore, the word shall cannot be constructed as meaning mandatory in this case, but must be interpreted as may, according to the principles cited in the three cases mentioned above, in addition to the above, the United States Supreme Court. So if you know the cases he's talking about Fort Howard Paper Co. versus Fox River Heights Sanitary Distribution, GOW versus Consolidated Copper Mines Corporation, and George William College versus Village of William Bay. Those are three cases that he say where you will understand the shall and the may. Okay. In addition to the above, United States Supreme Court held as against the government, the word shall, when used in statutes, is to be construed as may, unless a contrary intention is manifested. Therefore, even the Supreme Court has ruled that the word shall, as used in the Internal Revenue Code, must be construed as may, since no other intention is manifest or even possible. A United States Courts of Appeal in the case of Ballou, B-A-L-L-O-U versus Kemp, gives significant added insight as to how we can determine when shall in a statute really means may. The word shall in a statute may be constructed as may, where the connection in which it is used or the relationship to which it is put with other parts of the same statute indicates that the legislature intended that it should receive such a construction. Since Section 6012 does not state that some citizens are not required to file, if it were the logistic intent of the statute to declare that others were required to file, then the section would have read, returns with respect to income taxes under subtitle A are required to be made by the following. Since such wording does not appear, it is therefore obvious that the legislator did not intend to convey a mandatory construction. Again, we see that shall should be interpreted as in this section as may. It is also clear that the section uses the two terms shall and not required to imply that some persons are required to file because others are not, which of course the section does not say. That the deception was deliberate cannot be seriously questioned, as the Court of Appeals also observed in the previous quoted Ball OU case. It can hardly be called accidental that the Congress used mandatory language in one part of the chapter, law, and permissive in another. Section 6020, the key to many codes mysteries. While you already know that nobody is required to file a tax return, Code Section 6020 is where the law actually says it. It also provides an important key that helps explain some of the code's puzzling language. Note that the provision B of the section states that the secretary shall make a return for anyone who doesn't voluntarily make one. and that the secretary shall prepare it from his own knowledge and from such information as he can obtain through testimony or otherwise. This is the only place in the entire Revenue Internal Code where someone is clearly directed to prepare a tax return. Please note that the one directed to prepare it is the Secretary of Treasury, not a private citizen. So whenever the code uses language such as when required to file a return, if it is the Secretary of Treasury that the code refers to, not private citizens. Citizens, of course, wouldn't know this and seeing such language assume it refers to them rather than to the Secretary. A perfect example of this very kind of subterfuge blankly occurs with Section 6020 itself. By what logic can this section speak of persons who fail to make a return required by this title or by regulations prescribed thereunder? See Note 8. When the section itself declares that citizens must consent to disclose information before the Secretary can prepare returns for them, while if they don't consent, the Secretary shall make the return from his own knowledge. Thus, Section 6020 establishes all by itself that no citizen is required in any circumstances to file a tax return. It therefore strains one credulity to see how this section could even have suggested that anyone is required to file a tax return. If anyone is said to be required, it must be the Secretary of the Treasury, since he is required to make a return either with a citizen's help as provided in paragraph A or without it as provided in paragraph B. Thus, Section 6020 provides irrefutable proof that according to the code, citizens are simply not required to file income tax return. If any section of the code suggests otherwise, then it must have been written to mislead. And we can see how resourceful the government is at misleading. So now I'm going to read the section what he was talking about, Section 6020. This the one where he's saying that it's telling you the Secretary supposed to file, not you. And since y'all in here, go ahead and hit that like button for me. You gotta like me. You hanging out with me. We done talked about God. We done talked about life. And now we talking about money. And you still right here with me. Hit the like button. Thank you. All right, 6020. Returns prepared for or executed by the Secretary. Preparations are returns by Secretary. If any person shall fail to make a return required by this title or by regulations prescribed thereunder, but shall consent to disclose all information necessary for the preparation thereof, then and in that case the Secretary may prepare such returns, which, being signed by such person, may be received by the Secretary as the return of such person. That was part A. This part B, what he was talking about. Execution of return by Secretary. Authority of Secretary to execute return. If any person fails to make any return other than a declaration of estimated tax required under Section 6015, required by an internal revenue law or regulation made thereunder at the time prescribed thereof, or makes willfully or otherwise a false or fraudulent return, the Secretary shall make such return from his own knowledge and from such information as he can obtain through testimony or otherwise. Now, after reading that, I see what he's saying about the way they word stuff would confuse the hell out of you. Because if I didn't have his words around this section explaining what this section says, it is confusing to just read the like it's 6020. If you the type of person to look up the laws, this one is 6020. That's the section, the code section, 6020. And that shit is confusing as hell. But the way he broke it down, I understand it, because at A, in parentheses, it said preparation of return by Secretary, and on B, it say execution of return by Secretary. So in part A, it say you shall consent. So that means you don't have to, which is confusing as fuck, because the word will make it look like you have to consent. So that's confusing. All right, so we on chapter 4. How the IRS violates the law. Oh, this gonna be a good one. How the IRS violates the law, baby. So we on chapter 4. And you know, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Appreciate y'all for hitting the like button. It's a millionaire mission out here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay prayed up. Try not to have no anger in you. Try not to have no jealousy in you. Just stay prayed up, man. Stay on your business. Stay on your square. Millionaire mission. Milkman splashing in the fishbowl. I can't wait to go to Pleasure Island and splash in the fishbowl again. You heard me? I'm out.